Ironically, it was Will Smith who infamously said, "Love will make you do crazy things." But is that really an excuse? On today's case, Ms. Burt says that her partner, Mr. Harris, has been hiding behind his supposed love for her to justify his despicable behavior for the past 5 years. She claims Mr. Harris has done everything from flattening her tires to kicking her out of her own home. She says he has even used a funeral as an excuse to cheat on her. Ms. Burt says his over-the-top controlling behavior, his cheating, and his excessive drinking have her questioning how she...
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Burt versus Harris.
Thank you very much, Ms. Burt. Mr. Harris. Ms. Burt, you are here in court today because you say you are sick of the defendant's excuses for his erratic behavior. You say you need to see some real change or you're done.
Yes, Your Honor.
That you want to resolve your issues because you see a bright future with Ms. Burt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how did we get here today, Ms. Burt?
Well, Your Honor, I've been with this man for 5 years. He was the best when I got with him. Flowers, notes, spoiling me, everything.
Girl, you know the first 18 months everybody is dating their agent. You're not dating the actual talent. You know that.
Well, I didn't know that. He put a real good cover over his face because he's controlling. He has a drinking problem. He also lies. He's cheated a bunch of times. And that's the reason why we're here today.
Sounds like you got the trifecta of problems going on in your relationship. Mr. Harris, what do you say in your defense?
I'm here to save the relationship, Your Honor. And I love her so much, and I really want to be with her for the rest of my life. But I'm not the bad guy here. She has her problems, too. But I'm here to fix things, but she has to fix things, too, with herself. It's because it's two people in a relationship.
Well, I agree that there are two people in a relationship, but lying, cheating, and drinking and controlling, it says that alcohol is at the root of a lot of these problems.
Yes, ma'am. It started when we went on a vacation at the beach. We're doing good at first. We was drinking, but it got excessive. I started taking that. He started throwing my stuff over the balcony, making a scene, yelling at me, cursing at me, calling me bitches and hoes.
Wait a minute, in the public?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of ghetto crazy is that? Y'all not supposed to act like that all out in public?
It wasn't like that.
Did you throw stuff over the balcony in the public?
Yeah, I did, but it was a reason, though.
What was the reason?
We had already had a talk about her, everybody there. We already fell out about this plenty of times.
Ah.
So when I go to the bathroom, guess what she's doing?
Popping her booty on Instagram.
On Instagram. So I felt disrespected as a man. If you might have some shoes.
But you know throwing stuff over the balcony is kind of tacky.
Yeah, I was wrong for that.
And I understand you being upset. Ms. Burt, why would you be, in my opinion, be twerking on Instagram? I don't know how else to put it.
Well, Beyonce, she be twerking. Keisha, they be twerking. So what's wrong with me twerking my little... And it wasn't like I was shaking my butt, bare skin.
Well, Ms. Burt, you want me to answer that question. Beyonce be twerking, and Keisha Cole be twerking, and all the chicks be twerking, and they be getting checks, because they get paid to twerk.
You right.
That's right.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I know Beyonce. She is not twerking on Instagram for anybody
other than her man. You're right.
Thank you, because she is respectful and respectable.
Right, you're right.
And you know that's how she is.
Yes, ma'am,
you're
I
a
do.
fan.
I do know that,
single.
but I also know that it wasn't like I was naked or anything. I had on shorts. It was appropriate.
So, Ms. Burt, here's my question, because I always want to ask this to the young people. Why do you need to live your life on the gram? Seriously, because you're not gonna get satisfaction from that. You know that, right?
Right. But
you're a beautiful lady. So if you have somebody that you love, what do you get from folk that you don't know?
Why is it okay on Facebook? It's a problem for me, though.
Ah. So see, now we're getting to the root of the issue. You told me initially that you thought there was some alcohol problem, so you take this beach trip. Clearly, he does something inappropriate and throws things over the balcony. That is not a good idea, but how did that have to do with alcohol?
He got drunk. It got so bad that the police were called, and when the police were called, They seen that he was belligerent and drunk, so they took him. He got arrested.
Y'all, how y'all start off on a family vacation with the mama and the children and end up with the cops?
That was the first day. That was the first day.
Happy vacation to y'all.
Right. It was also an incident where I was at work and he called me. And he's like, babe, I'm sick. I don't feel good. I was like, alcohol.
Oops.
So I smell the alcohol and I leave. I walk out the door. He runs behind me. He's trying to stop me from leaving, telling me, don't leave, it'll change. I'm not drunk, I just don't feel good. I get in the car, I lock my doors because I know he's drunk. He pulls on my door handles and breaks my door handles.
That's not what happened.
That
Bro,
was a 17 Nissan. How was that old?
This is what happened. I was sick. She came home, and we was laying in bed. Her phone girl, I'm like, why would your homegirl say, hey, boo? So the first thing she did was jump up and run downstairs into her car, and I'm trying to question her about her phone.
So wait, why when you get angry, does it manifest itself in a way where you can't control your anger? Help me to understand what's going on. Because you say you get upset, and then that's when some silly stuff tends to happen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? What's going on with you that you need to do that?
I don't know. She's kind of just like she's picking at me. And I'm trying to do the right thing. It's just like she just keep coming at me.
Miss Bird, what's happening with the two of y'all that you have this kind of toxic behavior together? Because it seems that it's some angry, toxic behavior.
It's my tires.
What?
I go to the OBGYN.
She's lying.
I go get checked. OBGYN gives out condoms. I didn't think he's seen the condoms. I don't know what was his issue, but I leave work as I'm getting off.
She's lying. She's lying.
I have evidence to prove it. So it's not so much of a toxic energy. It's when he's drunk, he calls me. It's another incident where he was drunk and he sliced my tires.
What?
I go to the OBGYN.
She's lying.
I go get checked. OBGYN gives out condoms. I'm leaving, we met up at the
You
park.
asked for the condom?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all use condoms in your relationship?
Sometimes, because I feel like he's cheap.
At first we did.
Yeah. So I went to
So you're protecting yourself?
protecting myself.
That's actually very smart on your part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we meet up at the park, everything's okay. But I smell the alcohol on his breath. So I'm like, I'm going to work. I don't have time for this. I just left the doctor's. I'm in work. He's calling my phone. He's cursing me out. He's sending me all these messages. I'm a whore. All of this crazy. I don't know what was his issue, but when he gets drunk, I'm a whore. I'm a I'm all of this.
Can
and
I
I don't
say
understand
something?
why.
Yeah, I would love to know what's going on.
All right. Everybody know when you go to the health clinic, they give you cheap condoms.
Well, it depends.
They don't give you magnums.
But it just depends on what is happening.
As I'm saying, I leave work as I'm getting off, and it's flowers and a note that says, well, if you want to know why your tires are slashed, look at your front
She's
seat.
lying. She's lying.
I have evidence to prove it.
She's lying.
Okay, there's evidence. Let's see the evidence.
This legit flattened all my tires, bro. Like, what the?
There's no question that the tires are flat.
And who else would flatten my tires and leave a note with flowers?
Let me tell my side. I went in to try to make...
You're saying that you came and put flowers on the car.
Yes.
And somebody else put a note next to your flowers and slashed her cars.
That's what had to happen.
So it all happened after you put the flowers on it.
They had to.
I was born at night, not last night, sir. You've talked to me about alcohol because you think it's what fuels some of this behavior.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
also claim that he's a control freak.
He is a control freak.
What does that mean?
Okay, so I work, like I say, I do CNA and home health aid as my job. So sometimes I'm at people's...
That means you're really hustling because that's a lot of work.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
by the way, in a pandemic, we all thank you because that made you a frontline worker. Thank you very much for your service throughout this pandemic and all of the frontline workers who really just stepped up, quite frankly. So thank you.
But like I was saying, I can sometimes talk on my job. We have downtime. Some patients don't need as much. So sometimes I do talk to him while I'm at work. You can answer the phone call, but you couldn't answer the FaceTime. Well, why would I answer my FaceTime and watch? First of all, it's a HIPAA involved. I can't show you what's going on with my patient.
Mr. Harris, tell me your side of the story.
This is what happened. I'm at work. We always FaceTime when I go on my breaks.
I know, but suppose she's in the middle of something.
But she was supposed to be off work already.
But suppose she's in the middle of something. If you work in the healthcare, it'd be 5 minutes before you're supposed to leave. And if a patient has an emergency,
I don't think it was an emergency.
His baby mom had passed away. I stayed by his side the whole time. He leaves, 3 o'clock in the morning. Girl inboxes me and says, your man's over here. It was with the T-shirt lady that made the T-shirts for his baby mom.
The funeral T-shirts?
Yes, ma'am.
If you'd like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
But wait a minute, Mr. Harris, you know this is the kind of work she does, right?
Right.
So why wouldn't you give her the benefit of the doubt?
Any other time she answers her phone, she know what time I go on breaks. But I went to break early that day. So when I called her, she wasn't expecting me to FaceTime her around that time.
Mr. Harris, if the patient has a crisis and it happens to fall during your break, that means she's not gonna be able to talk to you, especially if you're dealing with an elderly or a sick patient. If you're dealing with a client that could have a crisis at any moment, they don't have it on their nurse's boyfriend's break. I mean, I've never... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We was together. I stayed by his side the whole time. In my personal opinion, to stand behind a man, cry over another woman, you gotta be a strong woman, okay? I stood there and I did everything I was supposed to do.
She had your back?
Not really.
What didn't I do?
That's what she was mad about because I was crying over.
For the repass, because I had to go to work. He didn't want me to leave him, and I'm like, I have to go to work. Not saying only that, he gets home, he's drunk, and he's arguing with me.
I'm always drunk, right?
Yeah. He's arguing with me, and he's cursing me out again, so I put him out. He leaves, he goes wherever he goes. Girl inboxes me and says, your man's over here.
Wow.
I'm calling him back to where he at. He not picking up. 3 o'clock in the morning, he calls me on FaceTime, and then he turns the camera around, and she's sitting in the bathroom.
Why would you do something like that? I mean, seriously, why?
Okay.
Why would you do that?
She put me out. I ain't had nowhere to go.
And you thought it was better to go to some other woman's house that was inboxing or messaging her to brag about her man being at that. I mean, first of all, the whole thing sounds ghetto and ridiculous.
It's
I can't even
ghetto.
believe that I am having it come out of my mouth. What kind of mess is this? You're a grown man. Why would you do some tacky stuff like that?
It was with the T-shirt lady that made the T-shirts for his baby mom.
The funeral T-shirt?
Yes, ma'am.
Child, please.
Wow.
What in the world?
Oh.
Everything that you have described sounds extremely toxic.
I don't know if I would call it toxic. We have our good moments and we have our bad. Our bad moments is only when he drinks. He's a great man. I'm not gonna take that away from him.
No, a great man doesn't sleep with the T-shirt lady.
Well, that's true too. That's true.
I'm sorry. So at some point you have to be worthy yourself.
Yeah.
And say what I'm going to talk. Human being right here. This is this man. And oftentimes partners come in relationships thinking they're gonna change folk. But when you get a fully baked cake, you know, if you go to the grocery store and you get an Entenmann's pound cake, one of the reasons I get an Entenmann's pound cake is because it's fully baked.
Yeah.
I don't have to do a doggone thing.
But eat it.
And I know when I come home and pop that seal, all I need to do is slice it and that's my cake. And if I want pound cake, I'm gonna have it right then and there. That's what you got relationship to be. And Mr. Harris, you have to be respectful of Miss Bird. And if you need time to grieve your child's mother, that's actually very understandable, but communicate that information. It shouldn't be an argument every time you all disagree with something. People can disagree without being disagreeable.
We just got engaged too on my birthday.
See, that just kind of makes me ask the question. With all of the stuff that you say he does, why would you say yes to a proposal?
Because I see potential, maybe, maybe he can be better. Maybe he can change. We're not perfect, but if you're willing to change for me, then we can work on something.
Tough love work on yourselves and make a dedication to be with this woman. Can you do that, sir?
Yes, I can.
I need y'all to start talking to each other, not at each other. That'll help you keep your anger in check, and it might help to build some trust. Relationship is a bunch of soil down here, and you know, in order for the soil to bear fruit, you gotta put some trust in there, put some love in there, put some faithfulness in there. All that stuff needs to go in, and stay off the gram. Robert, sometimes it really just comes down to a lack of communication. These people didn't even think through what they wanted in a relationship.
First of all, the alcohol amplified all his feelings.
I think he probably figured out, I may need to get myself in check.
Right.
This is a lady with benefits.
Oh, benefits. She was helping a patient, poor patient. Could you imagine her trying to take a FaceTime call?
You better pick up my FaceTime. That stroke can wait.